Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the Malaysian National Anthem.
Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhyiddin Haji Mohamad Yassin, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yang Berhormat Datuk Dr. Abu Bakar Muhammadiyah, Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, MUSTI. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dr. Ahmad Tajuddin Ali, President Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang Berbahagia Emeritus Professor Dr. Muhammad Nordin Hassan, President Science Council of Asia. Honorable Professor Dr. Takashi Onishi, President Science Council of Japan. Distinguished keynote speakers, participants and guests, senior fellows, associates of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, members of media, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. Welcome to the closing ceremony of the 14th Science Council of Asia SCA International Conference. Yang Amat Berhormat, for your information, we have convened this conference for 2 days. We have around 200 participants from 18 different countries took part, and 81 papers were presented with the theme of Future Earth, Research for Global Sustainability and a Holistic Understanding of Sustainable Development in Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon Yang Berbahagia Emeritus Professor Dr. Muhammad Nordin Hassan, President of Science Council of Asia and Chairman of Organizing Committee, to conclude the conference. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhyiddin bin Haji Mohamad Yassin, the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yang Berhormat Datuk Dr. Abu Bakar Muhammadiyah, the Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Tajuddin Ali, the President of the Academy of Sciences of Malaysia. Professor Takashi Onishi, President of the Science Council of Japan. Distinguished speakers, participants and guests, senior fellows, associates of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. Please allow me to take a few minutes of your time, Yang Amat Berhormat, to provide a summary of the conference that has just concluded this evening. The 2-day Science Council of Asia 2014 International Conference themed Research for Global Sustainability and a Holistic Understanding of Sustainable Development in Asia was organized by the Academy of Sciences Malaysia in collaboration with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation Malaysia, the Science Council of Asia, the Institute for Environment and Development, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Lestari, and the International Council for Science Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, ICSU ROAP. Partners who provided support to the organization of the conference included the Science Council of Japan, University Malaysia Terengganu, and the Higher Education Leadership Academy of the Ministry of Education Malaysia. A total of about 200 participants from 18 countries in Asia, Africa, Europe, the USA attended the conference, and these participants contributed more than 80 presentations in 5 scheduled academic symposia, individual presentations in the sessions on dynamic planet, global development, and transformation towards sustainability, and in poster presentations. In addition, 5 global thought leaders made keynote presentations on key aspects of sustainability, including on knowledge transitions to sustainability, on addressing threats from hazards and disasters, especially in the context of rapid urbanization throughout Asia, on sustainable development strategies and cooperation in Asia towards a common Asian Union, on managing potential extreme hazards and disasters that can arise from human-generated science and technology, and on the innovation needed to translate global goals and visions of sustainability to comprehensible, if not sensible, transformative action towards policies and actions to achieve regional and local sustainability. In his opening speech, Professor Zakri Hamid, the science advisor to the Prime Minister of Malaysia, had earlier alluded to, amongst other things, the importance of moving towards a more integrated, multidisciplinary science in order to be able to understand holistically the complex realities of the world today. He called for greater networking and collaboration among the diverse scientific, development, policy communities, and the public. He also insisted that scientific research results be effectively translated into action in the shortest time possible for the benefit to society, while acknowledging that transitions from science to action do require time and more concerted effort and resources to achieve the desired results. To facilitate this, he called for the establishment of cooperative research centers, industry-specific research institutes, research syndication as means of enhancing the performance of science in contributing to global sustainability. The symposia sessions were all very impressive and involved many from the community of young scientists in Asia. Novel new subjects, at least in the context of the SCA conferences, such as policy brokering of community knowledge for sustainability transitions in the developed and developing countries of Asia, such as identifying needs in establishing a common nucleus among diverse stakeholder groups for capacity building for future Earth, such as transitions to urban region sustainability, such as integration of environment and health towards a sustainable future, and such as inclusivity and community empowerment for sustainability in Asia. These were presented in the most intellectually deft or nifty and nimble way by the researchers concerned. And I think many of the participants in the panel discussion this evening were very impressed, especially maybe the moderator of the discussions, that from Malaysia there were very many researchers, young researchers with very competent reports who were from what I would call the opposite sex. I'm definitely impressed, and we should give the groups of researchers who convened this symposia a very big hand. The diverse presentations in the independent sessions were no less impressive. Presentations were a mix of the established and the new, and a wide range of subjects under the ambit of sustainability were presented. I will not attempt to summarize the presentations and deliberations of these sessions for now, but you can be rest assured that we will obtain feedback and analysis and analyze the output and outcomes of the sessions in due course. One thing is sure, the sessions provided the opportunity for participants to meet colleagues and friends from other parts of the world and develop new networking and collaborative opportunities that would hopefully open your mind further on the question of global sustainability. Our keynote speaker, Professor Kurokawa, stressed this point again this evening by suggesting that we allow our children to travel the world, basically, so that they have an open mind. The poster sessions provided the budding scientist researcher with the opportunity to present their work to the participants of the conference. It enabled them to think hard or harder the method, context, and significance of their work. More importantly, by making the poster presentations at this conference, the researchers, who are mostly young graduate students and freshly graduated scientists, had the opportunity to connect and network with colleagues from the region, exchange ideas and views about their research, and experience the life of a scientist where critical discussion and debate are the norm. In my own development, not too long ago, this was an essential ingredient of my training and education as a scientist. Hopefully, opportunities for young scientists to participate in scientific meetings such as this will be further encouraged in future for the development of the nation rather than to be curbed. This afternoon, Yang Amat Berhormat, we had a panel discussion that was very lively in a very full room, and many issues were brought up that had not been brought up in discussions on Future Earth previous to this. Professor Yasunari from the Research Institute in Humanity and Nature from Kyoto updated the conference on the current status of Future Earth as the international platform for research on global sustainability. Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri, friends and colleagues, the Academy of Sciences Malaysia and its partners is indeed very pleased that it has had the opportunity to organize this conference and contribute directly to the growth of scientific research in the region, if not the world, on the subject of global sustainability. It is very privileged to have had this opportunity to contribute to the growth of the new global research platform called Future Earth that is spearheaded by ICSU and ISSC, the International Social Science Council, and the Global Alliance on Science and Technology for Sustainability. We hope the global community will acknowledge the contribution that is being made by Malaysia to international science. For this, I would like to thank our global partners and the Science Council of Japan, my colleagues from ICSU, the Research Institute for Humanity and Nature in Kyoto, the Pacific Science Association and the East-West Center in Hawaii, the National Disaster Management Authority of India, the Korean Academy of Science and Technology for their support in organizing the conference. There are far too many other supporters and partners that helped to make this conference a success. Far too many to mention one by one in this summary, but on behalf of the Academy, I would like to thank them all. Last but not least, I would like to thank the many invisible helpers and volunteers from the Academy and elsewhere for their silent contribution to the success of the conference. In closing, please note that next year, on the 15th and 16th of May, the Science Council of Asia Annual Conference will be held in Siem Reap, Cambodia. It will be hosted by the Institute of Technology of Cambodia, and in the true Asian spirit, let us all mark the dates in our diaries and let us all lend support to the success of next year's conference. With that, I would like to conclude this presentation of a short summary of the conference for the benefit of all present here, especially the presence of the Yang Amat Berhormat, the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Emeritus Professor Dr. Muhammad Nordin Hassan. Now it's time for us to hear a closing speech from our guest of honor, Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhyiddin Haji Mohamed Yassin, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, and officially close the 14th Science Council of Asia International Conference. Dipersilakan Yang Amat Berhormat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia, and a very good afternoon. Yang Berhormat Dato' Dr. Abu Bakar Muhammadiyah, Deputy Minister of Science, Technology, Innovation, Yang Berusaha Emeritus Professor Dr. Muhammad Nordin Hassan, President of Science Council of Asia, Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Dato' Dr. Ahmad Tajuddin Ali, President of Academy of Science Malaysia, Honorable Professor Takashi Onishi, President Science Council of Japan, distinguished key speakers, participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here today for the closing ceremony of the 14th Science Council of Asia International Conference of 2014. I'd like to congratulate the organizers, namely the International Council for Science Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation Malaysia, and the Institute for Environment and Development, Lestari. I'm certain all of you have had a very enriching deliberation and exchange of knowledge, ideas, and experiences pertaining to the issues of sustainable development, and I'm sure these valuable exchanges would help the region to move forward together for the benefit of our present and future generations. Now, the theme, Future Earth, a research for global sustainability and a holistic understanding of sustainable development in Asia, carries a very important message to not only scientists, but to everyone. As to date, there have been so many efforts and initiatives mooted by governments, interest groups, and private sector organizations in order to understand and promote programs as well as deliverables to improve and enhance sustainable development agenda. However, despite of the time and money spent on these initiatives, similar concerns and predicaments have been raised, deliberated and discussed time and again. But yet our biggest challenge remains the need to identify clear and permanent solutions toward ensuring our natural resources will be safe from depletion and exploitation, which will have a profound effect on our socio-economic well-being. In addition, following the 2008 global economic crisis, many governments have reduced public spending and investments, which consequently have negatively impacted their economic growth, social stability, and even sustainability. Therefore, lesson learned, it is time for us to be more scientific in creating our sustainable development path. A more effective and comprehensive development and growth model should be advocated to guide governments on the need to monitor and regulate the use of natural resources and therefore consumption through a range of policy tools. And I do believe government and political leaders are willing and encouraged to engage more actively with the intellectual community, such as all of you today. The inputs and views will certainly help to promulgate and strengthen policies on sustainable development ecosystem. And this is even more pressing in view of the hectic and rapid pace of the global economic and commercial activities taking place as we speak today. In this relation, I'm happy to note that this conference has provided the right platform and opportunity for exchange of ideas and best practices with a view to further identify strategic options and way forward for the region to progress its agenda on sustainable development, taking into account our various levels of development and living standards. Having said this, as well as recognizing existing capacity and capability challenges, government and scientific communities in Asia must strengthen and accelerate smart partnerships. How we could institute an intensive networking program among Asian scientific experts and build a knowledge disseminating hub in order to extensively apply the culture of science to the appropriate sustainable development practices. Not only would this initiative be applicable to the government and academic community, but it could be extended to other relevant stakeholders and NGOs at large. For instance, by nurturing close cooperation between relevant science authorities, agencies, together with the business community as well as strategic interest groups in Asia, we could adopt and promote sustainable technologies, policies, and business models across Asian boundaries in the concerted and coordinated efforts, hence moving towards promoting future Earth for Asia as a whole. There is also a need to comprehend and appreciate the meaning and context of sustainable development for a developing country. We should get our priorities right. Developed countries that have already made progress in the environment sector should constantly collaborate closely, engage with developing countries in areas such as capacity building, as well as cooperation initiative to help improve the sustainable development process. In fact, this was an important and crucial element agreed to during the Rio Summit in 1992. And such collaboration has not always been easy, but we must strive harder and earnestly endeavor to make it work. Developing countries also have a duty to develop and bring a better life to their people. Hence, it is important to remember that when we speak of sustainable development, we must also factor in equity. The Sustainable Development Agenda must help to reverse environmental degradation and make the world a better place for everyone and, of course, benefit all citizens. Now, one of the overriding points from this conference revolves around the need to strengthen human resource capacities and capabilities. The shortage of right STI talents is a common concern for all of us, and so is the brain drain that continues to be a growing concern in many developed and developing countries, particularly in this region. Therefore, I hope this perennial issue will continue to be a key element in your future sessions and deliberations. Not only that we need to identify and produce enough talents, we also need to have access to supreme quality talents. In Malaysia today, the government has identified 5 major universities as research universities with the objective of elevating higher quality research products, nurturing and empowering the role of young scientific community to support and drive Malaysia's future development in strategic sectors, namely sustainable development. It is my hope that the Science Council of Asia would further facilitate, encourage, and elevate exchange programs of young researchers and science students in Asia. Such initiative would help in preparing them to become key players in helping the respective country to succeed in establishing the most relevant and cost-efficient environmental friendly technologies, as well as formulate enabling and effective regulatory frameworks. This would certainly help to overcome the many facets of challenges and barriers faced by governments in their efforts to implement broad-based socio-economic measures that take into account all dimensions of sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us here share many common concerns on global sustainability. I would like to stress that the takeaways from this discussion must not all be about pledging huge amount of financial resources, but to think carefully on how the available resources can be further strengthened, strategically harnessed, and of course, effectively utilized. Therefore, by working collectively as a team, I'm certain Asia as a region will be able to contribute immensely to the efforts of achieving global sustainability comprising economic growth and human well-being. In conclusion, I would like to state that Malaysia and Asian countries have many common experiences in our development process. Many of us have progressed from agriculture to industry, and now we are entering the next stage of services and knowledge-based economy. We have learned many lessons along the way that we can share with each other. What is important is that we should continue to be working together to develop our shared Asian dream, and of course we will cooperate and prosper together. Once again, I'm pleased to be a part of this conference, which is such significance toward affirming a better future for Asia, and therefore with great honor for me to officially close the 14th Science Council of Asia Conference 2014, Theme Future Earth, Research for Global Sustainability and a Holistic Understanding of Sustainable Development of Asia. I wish all of you a safe return to your home country. I do hope that you'll find time to visit Malaysia again and enjoy the many tourist attractions and of course sights and sound that beautiful Malaysia can offer to you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri, for the inspiring closing remarks. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially closed the 14th ACA International Conference. To aspire the Future Earth's initiatives, we would like to visualize the desired future through a special video that we have produced.
Future we have, up in the sky and in the ground. Be inspired by nature and respect. You have to. It's deliver where inspiration is due. Every day, we're thinking up new inventions and innovations too. The future we have is a life with no discrimination, harmony with every nation. To preserve the world for future generations. To stop all human frustration. The future we have is leader who are far-sighted and fair. Resources we can all share. Blessed to breathe clean air. With nature to still be there. The future we have is global change by man does not threaten us all. No animals are in decline or fall. every person save and recycles instead of cars. We use our spirituals. The future we have is all humans have shelter and clean water. We all get good health and food so our lives are shorter. Using renewable energy which reduces pollution. Livable and balanced urbanization are the solution. Thank you for giving us a sustained future. We promise to preserve and value the earth. The only hope we ever know.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it is up to us to live up to the desired future that we envision and to sustain the earth that is worthy for our children and future generations. I would like now to invite Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dr. Ahmad Tajuddin Ali, President of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, to present a token of appreciation to Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhyiddin Haji Yassin, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Dipersilakan. This masterpiece of art is painted by Zaimi Sahibil, a Malaysian with Bajau Laut heritage. He takes pride in featuring marine life in his painting and evocator of marine species. This painting tells a story about a lionfish, a beautiful fish with long tentacles, fleshy fins and bright stripes. The aesthetic value of this painting is represented by the bright color of the poisonous tentacles of the fish. Metaphorically, this painting represents a gracefully and quiet person who at times is capable to shake and change the world. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the 14th Science Councils of Asia International Conference. On behalf of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, I would like to thank all the participants and guests for your presence and support. We look forward to your participation in other forthcoming ASM events and see you at the 15th ACA International Conference in Cambodia. To VVIP and all keynote speakers, please proceed to the Delima room for a press conference. Thank you until we meet again. Assalamualaikum.